In international relations, understanding why states behave the way they do is crucial. Traditional theories often focus on material factors like military might and economic power. However, constructivism offers a different lens. It argues that state behavior is shaped by social constructs. This means ideas, norms, and beliefs hold significant sway. In essence, states act according to their perceived identity and place in the world. Constructivism emphasizes the importance of shared understandings. These shared understandings are formed through interactions and dialogues between states. They create a framework of acceptable behavior. For example, the norm against using chemical weapons influences state actions, even if not all strictly adhere to it. Constructivism also highlights the role of identity in shaping foreign policy. A state's perception of itself, whether as a leader, a defender, or a peacemaker, influences its actions on the global stage. A state identifying as a global policeman might intervene in conflicts abroad, while one prioritizing neutrality might abstain from such involvement. The Trump administration's approach to the Ukraine war offers a compelling case study for understanding constructivism in action. Donald Trump's foreign policy, often described as unconventional, can be seen as an attempt to reshape the United States' identity and its role in the world. This was particularly evident in his dealings with Russia and Ukraine. Trump consistently sought to move away from the traditional adversarial relationship between the United States and Russia. He aimed for a more pragmatic engagement, prioritizing direct dialogue and cooperation on areas of shared interest. This approach, a clear departure from his predecessors, signaled a potential shift in the American identity on the world stage. Instead of viewing Russia solely as a threat, Trump emphasized the potential for collaboration. This contrasted with the prevailing view in Washington, which favored containment and sanctions against Moscow. This shift in perspective from antagonist to potential partner exemplifies a constructivist approach to foreign policy. Trump's efforts to restart the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, a project aimed at bringing Russian natural gas to Europe, exemplified his desire for closer economic ties with Moscow. This move, met with resistance from within the United States and from European allies, signaled a willingness to prioritize economic interests over traditional security concerns. Furthermore, Trump's urging of Ukraine to negotiate peace with Russia, even suggesting that American support was conditional on such negotiations, demonstrated a transactional approach to foreign policy. This contrasted with the more steadfast support for Ukraine's sovereignty offered by previous administrations. These actions, while controversial, can be interpreted as attempts to reshape the existing norms and understandings that had governed U.S.-Russia relations for decades. By prioritizing dialogue and economic engagement, Trump sought to construct a new reality where cooperation, rather than confrontation, defined the relationship. International reactions to Trump's Ukraine policy were mixed, reflecting the significant departure it represented. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov praised Trump's efforts, contrasting them with what he perceived as Europe's attempts to prolong the conflict. This acknowledgement underscored the perceived shift in U.S. foreign policy. However, within the United States, Trump faced criticism from both sides of the political aisle. Opponents argued that his approach undermined American credibility and emboldened Russia. They viewed his actions as a betrayal of U.S. allies and a weakening of the international order. Trump's Ukraine strategy, viewed through a constructivist lens, reveals a leader attempting to reshape America's identity and its role in the world. His efforts to engage with Russia, prioritize economic interests, and encourage negotiated solutions challenged established norms and generated both praise and condemnation. Whether this represented a lasting shift in U.S. foreign policy or a temporary deviation remains to be seen.